Hello, this is Robert from Kanga and welcome to the 27th episode of Kanga Crypto News. Today we will talk about some very interesting topics. Now, what are these? Kamala Harris finally breaks silence on crypto. Bitcoin, more linked with US Fed traders say as China lends stimulus. Is the party over for political meme coins? Bitwise CIO says the most powerful people in finance are allocating to crypto. This and more. Watch until the end. Now, before we begin, remember that all information for Kanga Crypto News is gathered by experienced Kanga analysts based on reliable sources. Also, keep in mind that this is not an investment advice. Kanga Crypto News episodes are released every week on Friday. If you want to stay up to date with the most important information from the crypto world, subscribe to the channel. Be sure to click the bell so you don't miss important news. Now, let me ask you a question. Do you think that Kamala Harris winning this election will be bearish for the crypto market? It may surprise you, but not necessarily. United States Vice President Kamala Harris made her first public statement about crypto during her US presidential election campaign. In comments made during a Wall Street fundraiser, Harris vowed to encourage investment in artificial intelligence and digital assets. Quote, "We will partner together to invest in America's competitiveness, to invest in America's future. We will encourage innovative technologies like AI and digital assets while protecting our consumers and investors," end quote, Harris said at a fundraiser in Manhattan. "We will create a safe business environment with consistent and transparent rules of the road," Harris said. "We will invest in semiconductors, clean energy, and other industries of the future, and we will cut needless bureaucracy." This is the first time Harris has publicly remarked about crypto since she became the Democratic Party's presidential frontrunner. Her Republican rival, Donald Trump, has also worked to secure support from the crypto industry. The industry has been speculating whether Harris would take a different approach to crypto than President Joe Biden, who some have seen as unfriendly to the sector. In August, Harris's senior campaign advisor, Brian Nelson, hinted she would support crypto policies if she wins the presidential election in November. However, she said the industry needs rules of the road, as some companies have collapsed. This is an important and constructive statement from Kamala Harris, Coinbase policy chief Faryar Shirzad said in a post. It's not nearly as forward-leaning as the concrete and visionary positions taken by Donald Trump, but it's still notable because she recognizes digital assets innovation as being important and on par with AI, Shirzad added. Crypto has become a campaign issue. US crypto companies, including Coinbase, Ripple, and Gemini, have spent nearly $120 million to influence November's elections, the Public Citizen reported in August. Trump has already released 4 non-fungible token collections, backed his family's crypto platform, and has closely embraced the crypto industry. His promise to be a crypto president and to sack US Securities and Exchange Commission Chair Gary Gensler, whose agency has launched multiple enforcement actions against the country's most prominent crypto players. Harris and Trump are neck and neck in national polls, with Harris ahead of Trump by only 2.9 percentage points according to September 22 538 data. The People's Bank of China said it was cutting the reserve requirement ratio for mainland banks by 50 basis points, while also lowering the 7-day reverse repo rate. The interest rate at which a central bank borrows funds from commercial banks by 20 basis points to 1.5%. In addition, The central bank cut the minimum down payment requirement for mortgages to 15%. Result? Nothing really special in crypto. We had some small responses, but it was a few percent down. What's a few percent in crypto? You can sometimes find memes on the internet that show how crypto investors react to several percent drops and increases. Only a few dozen percent make an impression. But while digital assets didn't respond to the Chinese rate cuts and stimulus measures, stock indices around the region were deep in the green, suggesting that local traders were more fixated on equities rather than crypto. Hong Kong's Hang Seng Index climbed 3.2% on the news, while the Shanghai Composite Index added 2.3%. Now the most important question is, will this event have a greater impact on the market in the long run? We'd love to hear what you think. Write a comment under the video. Let's move to the next news. On Monday, a group of over 40 Republican lawmakers sent a letter to the US Securities and Exchange Commission Chairman Gary Gensler, once again urging the agency to rescind its controversial crypto custody rule. The letter, led by House Financial Services Committee Chair Patrick McHenry, Senator Cynthia Lummis, and 40 other bipartisan lawmakers, comes after Congress passed a bipartisan repeal of the Staff Accounting Bulletin, which President Joe Biden later vetoed. The Security and Exchange Commission's lack of clearer crypto rules has become a central issue among critics who argue the agency is pursuing a regime of regulation via litigation. SAB 121, meanwhile, has been under fire since its implementation in March 2022, which critics stating it disrupts traditional accounting standards and puts unnecessary pressure on financial institutions. Lawmakers also argue that SAB 121, which requires crypto custodians to recognize digital assets as liabilities on their balance sheets, could increase consumer risks, weaken financial innovation, and discourage banks from offering custodial services for cryptocurrencies. Although President Biden vetoed a previous resolution to repeal SAB 121 in June, citing concerns about financial stability and investor protection, the issue remains continuous. The US House of Representatives attempted to override President Biden's veto on July 10, 2024, but failed to reach the necessary two-thirds supermajority. The vote saw 207 Republicans and 21 Democrats in favor of the repeal, falling short of the required threshold. The same voting pattern emerged in May when the bill first came to a vote. Ultimately, 183 Democrats voted against the measure, preventing the override and marking a major setback for the repeal effort. That has further angered those already at odds with the regulator's perceived stance against the industry. Now, did you make money on meme coins? What about political meme coins? Political meme coins and prediction markets have had a defining role in this crypto bull market, driven by the dramatic US election and Donald Trump's pro-Bitcoin policies. Coins like Trump and MAGA have become vehicles for speculation, rising and falling based on the fortunes of candidates. Most of the biggest politified tokens in terms of market cap are linked to the Republican nominee, with those named after Kamala Harris typically having much smaller valuations. And investing in one certainly isn't for the faint of heart. Joe Biden hit an all-time high of $1.07 in April, but has now plunged by 99.6% after the president abandoned his re-election campaign. You may be scratching your head and wondering why such meme coins are so popular in the first place. Duymovich argues that they are a novel form of political expression and allow token holders to feel they are part of a wider community with like-minded individuals. There's no denying either that some investors have been drawn in by the prospect of eye-popping returns, but volatility works both ways and there is a lot of risk. Duymovich points out that the trend surrounding political meme coins has mainly been centered in the US so far, but does have the potential to expand globally in the future. A Trump win in November would likely boost the crypto markets, especially considering he's spoken repeatedly of establishing a Bitcoin reserve in the US and ramping up efforts to ensure America dominates the mining industry. The many coins named after him would also probably experience something of an uplift. But a loss could mark the death knell for political meme coins, at least in the short term. New tokens may only start to re-emerge if crypto-friendly presidential candidates start to emerge in the years to come. And what is your political meme coin investing strategy? Do you think it's a good time to buy some? Which would you choose? How much did you earn on them? Maybe you lost? Let us know. Beginner investors often wonder whether it is still worth investing in crypto. One of the most important indicators is what type of people decide to invest. Here we have some good news. While significant allocations toward Bitcoin in financial advisors' client accounts may still be a way off, an increasing number of them are allocating to crypto assets in their personal portfolios, according to Bitwise CIO Matt Hogan. Quote, "A wave of the most powerful people in finance are finally allocating to crypto," end quote, Hogan said in a memo to clients on Tuesday, reflecting on his keynote speech at the Barron's Advisor 100 Summit in Palm Beach, Florida on Friday. The summit is a gathering of the top financial advisors in the US, with Hogan invited to speak following the launch of spot Bitcoin exchange-traded funds, including Bitwise's BITB product earlier this year. Attempting to gauge the room, Hogan kicked off by asking how many people owned Bitcoin or another crypto asset in their personal portfolios. Having attended the summit and asked the same question for the past 3 years, Hogan said the response was previously in the 10 to 20% range. However, this time the Bitwise CIO estimated it was more like 70%, as nearly every hand in the room went up. This may be a valuable sign that the rich trust crypto and decide to invest. I encourage you to explore the topic. Australian regulators are reportedly preparing a new guidance to require cryptocurrency exchanges to obtain financial services licenses. Licensing requirements for crypto exchanges in Australia are set to be extended beyond those related to digital currency exchanges, the Australian Financial Review (AFR) reported. According to Australian Securities and Investment Commission (ASIC) Commissioner Alan Kirkland, the new requirements are necessary because the regulator considers that the Corporations Act captures most major crypto assets like Bitcoin and Ether. The Commissioner disclosed the authorities' plans at the AFR Crypto and Digital Assets Summit in Sydney on September 23rd. Quote, "ASIC's message is that a significant number of crypto asset firms in the Australian market are likely to need a license under the current law," end quote, Commissioner Kirkland said in a statement to Cointelegraph. He noted that the ASIC supports responsible innovation in the crypto industry. Still, it remains concerned about the potential for consumer harm and market misconduct, which it wants to address with the regulatory regime. Quote, "ASIC expects to issue updated draft guidance in the coming months, which we will open up to feedback from the industry," end quote, the Commissioner stated, adding, "ASIC believes that licensing and its subsequent protections will mitigate risk while bolstering consumer confidence and market integrity, two elements that are crucial in encouraging innovation in the financial system." The news on ASIC's looming guidance came amid Senator Andrew Bragg slamming Australian regulators for not taking a proactive approach to regulating the crypto market. Senator took to X on September 23rd to share his address at the AFR event, arguing that Australia, quote, "has gone from crypto leader to crypto laggard," end quote, in the past 2.5 years. In his speech, the senator mentioned that Australia was anticipated to set up crypto regulation a few years ago when Finance Minister Stephen Jones claimed that the Labour Party's approach to crypto would focus on safety and transparency. The latest news personally makes me think. Is this puzzling to you too? Well, let's see. An early Bitcoin whale has made waves in the crypto world according to the on-chain analytics platform Arkham Intelligence. This long-time hodler transferred 5 bitcoins to Kraken while still sitting on an impressive 1,215 bitcoins worth a hefty $77 million as of today. Just 4 days ago, 250 bitcoins was transferred from addresses that held 5 block rewards from Bitcoin's early days. These were the oldest 2009 block rewards to be spent in over 10 years. By Tuesday, Arkham had outlined the latest whale's activity spanning several years. Quote, after moving several times from 2011 to 2014, his Bitcoin was then held dormant for almost 10 years straight, during which it increased in value from 474,000 to over 80 million, end quote, Arkham said on X. The unexpected stir from long inactive Bitcoin whales sparks curiosity about what's driving them. As early adopters dust off their holdings after years of stillness, market watchers are left to ponder whether this points to wider trends or personal strategy adjustments. Whether it's a rare event or a hint of something bigger on the horizon, the revival of these vintage wallets has on-chain analysts paying close attention. And that is all. This was the 27th episode of Kanga Crypto News. More is coming soon. Remember to give us a sub and a thumbs up. Take care and see you in the next episode.
We are Kanga, beyond crypto.